Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Film Detective. Long time no see. I'm your host Maverick and I want to thank you so much for checking out this video. Today I want to talk to you about Scream 6 and I can guarantee you right now this theory video is something you have never heard. For the Stu detractors, I'll put your mind at ease because this video does not revolve around him being alive and coming back as the mastermind, but if you're a Stu fan, you can check out this video right here. If the title and thumbnail didn't give you an idea of what I'm going to be talking about, this video will be exploring the significance of the cracked Ghostface mask and who may be behind it. Just a heads up for you first-timers to this channel, my theory videos tend to be outside of the box and take a fair amount of creative licensings with the source material, so if you're looking for your run-of-the-mill cookie-cutter idea videos, you're going to be greatly disappointed with me. Radio Silence made it clear that the old decrepit Ghostface mask serves a purpose and is going to be significant to Scream 6. So let's get into the who, what, where, when, and why this mask is in the movie. We know the what is the Ghostface mask, so let's just start with the when. Right now, I want your mind's eye to try to envision this theory in its entirety happening. In order to understand where I'm coming from, I want you to take a trip with me back to the opening scene of 1996's Scream. That's right, I believe this mask belongs to one of the original killers. I know what you contrarians are already thinking, how did this Ghostface get one of the OG killer's mask? No, it wasn't loaned to them from one of their friends at the Attorney General's office or ended up missing from an evidence locker because that's just lazy writing. So let's check this out. After Casey Becker loses the game of horror movie trivia with Billy and Stu, we know what happened next. But in the scene just before her life comes to an end, we see her unmask the killer. What if the mask got left behind by whoever was under the hood because they were in such a hurry to first disembowel her, then string Casey up before her parents caught them in the act? It's highly plausible and we don't have to look that far back in history to see similar incidents of killer leaving things behind at the scene of a crime. So where did the mask get left behind? I get it. Had the mask been dropped initially where Casey removed it, it would have definitely been found by deputies who arrived at the scene and later collected as evidence. I believe both Billy and Stu were at the Becker residence the night that Casey was murdered. The Becker's house is located in a rural area surrounded by lots of trees and what appears to be vineyards, and we know they didn't park directly in front of their house, otherwise the Beckers would have seen their getaway vehicle. The actual house's driveway is protected by a security gate, so let's assume Billy and Stu had to hoof it from wherever they parked their car through the woods to get to and from the murder scene, and while they were fleeing, the mask was dropped, never to be found by the cops. Well, if the cops didn't find the mask, who did and why are they Ghostface? This is where it gets fun, and if you're with me so far, you can let me know who you think got the OG mask and why you think they're involved. In the scene where Casey first learns that the gentleman caller is watching her, we see her lock the back door, and for a half a second we see a family photo on a bookshelf. It's hard to really make out who is in the picture, but it appears there's 5 people in this photo. Assuming this was from a Becker family vacation, we can deduce 2 of the 5 people would be her mother and her father, and the third would be Casey. That leaves us 2 unknowns who are more than likely her siblings. After the death of their sister, one or both siblings take a walk through the woody area where they used to play as kids, both to mourn the loss of their sister while remembering all the good times that they shared. On their walk, they stumble across a Ghostface mask, but because by this time Billy and Stu have been caught and killed, they decide to bury the mask instead of telling their parents or alerting the police because their mother and father are emotional wrecks and they don't want to deal with the media or law enforcement back at their property retracing the killer's steps and combing for more evidence in the event there were more than just Billy and Stu as killers. It certainly would help explain the dirty, cracked, and rotting appearance we see on the mask. From this situation, I was able to spawn 2 scenarios, which I'll admit one of them is a bit of a stretch. So why would Casey Becker's siblings want to don the Ghostface mask? Let's assume the death of Casey caused both her mother and father to experience severe depression, and over the years they combated these feelings through therapy. Now let's flash forward to 2011. The second bodies start dropping and it's announced on the news that the killer is dressed in a Ghostface costume. It triggers the trauma they've been experiencing, and Mrs. Becker begins coping by diving into the bottom of a bottle to combat her painful memories of what happened to her daughter. On the way home one night from drinking, she falls asleep at the wheel and smashes her vehicle head-on into a power pole that kills her on impact. Mr. Becker, completely devastated, turns back to therapy as he feels like his life is completely crumbling and is able to hold firm until the events that took place in 2022. He's alone, and both of his children live on the other side of the country. And as hard as he's tried to stay strong, he's just lost the will to live, and he writes the ending to his own story. Hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. Woodsboro deputies reach out to the next of kin to alert them of their father's passing so that they can make funeral arrangements, as well as decide what will happen with the estate. When they arrive to their childhood home, they hear on the news that these attacks were directed at the daughter of Billy Loomis. They're enraged, believing that the Loomis family is solely responsible for killing everyone that they love, both directly and indirectly. The siblings go on to the area where they buried the Ghostface mask and decide they will end the Loomis curse on their family by killing Sam and anyone who gets in their way. Like I said, it's a stretch, but pure hatred and rage is often illogical. The easier explanation is someone is obsessed with the events that happened in Scream 1996 and is retracing the steps of Billy and Stu, and while trespassing on the Beckers' property, they stumble across a mask that has been resting in shrubbery for nearly 30 years. Their motive, fame, or infamy, it's a lot less fun, but it's there. That's it for me today, folks. If you liked this video, you already know what to do, and if you more than liked it, go ahead and share this with a friend. I'm really interested to know what your thoughts on the origins of this mask is, as well as who you think the killers are. And please, no Scream 6 spoilers in the comment section. If you post a spoiler, you'll be blocked from this channel forever, and I will track down your address and scissor kick you right in the fucking head. Thanks again for watching. You stay classy, San Diego.